Philippines. An archipelago of thousands of emerald isles rising from sapphire seas, where volcanoes pierce drifting clouds and coral reefs blaze beneath sunlit waves. Its wild places breathe with countless voices. Winds sigh through towering forests. Rivers murmur over mossy stones, and hornbills call through shadowed canopies. From Luzon's misty peaks to Palawan's tangled mangroves and Mindanao's lush rainforests, these islands cradle some of Earth's most exquisite birds. Here, the mighty Philippine Eagle soars above veils of mist. Palawan Peacock-Pheasants glimmer across the forest floor, and tiny Whiskered Pittas flash bright colors among fallen leaves. In the hush below, Luzon Bleeding-hearts wander, their scarlet marks glowing like embers. In this episode from BBTV Official, we journey across these enchanted lands to discover over 30 extraordinary birds whose feathers, songs, and secret lives reveal the wild soul of the Philippines. If you enjoy exploring nature's wonders, please like this video and subscribe so you won't miss more adventures into the world's most beautiful and mysterious creatures. Philippine Eagle, Pithecofaga jeffrey. Deep within the mist-wrapped highlands of the Philippines dwells a sovereign so arresting that locals honor it as Haring Ibon, the king of birds. Its imposing scientific name, Pithecofaga jeffrey, meaning monkey-eater, hints at ancient fears and wonder. Folktales whisper of this mighty raptor plucking children from treetops, vanishing into drifting veils of cloud, leaving only trembling leaves behind. This extraordinary eagle is a treasure found nowhere else on Earth, reigning solely over the forests of Luzon, Leyte, Samar, and Mindanao. Amid colossal dipterocarp trees shrouded in silver fog, it patrols an empire spanning up to 25 square miles, gliding over green cathedrals where sunlight breaks in solemn shafts. Standing nearly 3.3 feet tall, with wings that stretch beyond 7 feet tip to tip, and weighing close to 14 pounds, the Philippine Eagle is a titan among birds. Its rugged crown of brown and cream feathers unfurls like a royal standard, encircling eyes of piercing steel blue that seem to unravel every secret the jungle holds. Perhaps most spellbinding is how it raises that magnificent crest into a fierce mane when excited or courting, transforming into a living emblem of wilderness myth. Though famed for hunting monkeys, its appetite ranges wide. Flying lemurs, civets, squirrels, snakes, even birds fall to its colossal talons, nearly the breadth of a human hand, as it descends with ghostly precision. Bound by lifelong vows, these eagles nurture just one chick every 2 years in towering nests over 100 feet high, fiercely shielding their fragile legacy together. Picture this majestic predator poised on a moss-clad limb, crest lifted like a herald's plume, scanning its emerald realm, an ageless monarch enthroned in the breath of the Philippine wild. Palawan Peacock Pheasant, Polyplectron napoleonis. Hidden beneath the emerald canopy of Palawan, a Philippine paradise adrift in sapphire seas, dances a bird so radiant it seems conjured by myth. Locals affectionately call it Tandikan, a name that ripples through village tales like a song. Its formal title, Polyplectron napoleonis, pays tribute to Napoleon Bonaparte, an emperor's name befitting such regal finery. Endemic to Palawan alone, this dazzling peacock pheasant prowls lowland and hill forests, threading gracefully through tangles of vines and shadowed clearings. Unlike its flamboyant cousins that strut across open fields, the Tandikan is a spirit of secrecy, weaving silently among mossy trunks and sunlit glades, revealing itself only to those patient enough to linger. Measuring around 20 inches in length, with males slightly outsizing females, it wears a living tapestry of colors that shift with every subtle move. Feathers gleam in a kaleidoscope of metallic blues, greens, and purples, while its tail unfurls with eye spots that burn like tiny planets, shimmering gold and turquoise. A delicate crest crowns its head, nodding with each cautious step. What truly captures the imagination is the Tandakan's courtship ritual. In a secluded chamber of leaves, the male fans his opulent tail, circling the female in slow, deliberate arcs, creating a ballet of shifting jewels upon the forest floor. Few humans have ever witnessed this private masquerade. Feeding quietly on seeds, insects, and small creatures, it sifts through leaf litter with gentle precision. When breeding, it selects hidden spots to lay precious eggs, guarded by vigilant parents. Picture this gem of Palawan stepping into a shaft of light, tail ablaze like a jeweled fan, then vanishing back into the hush, leaving only wonder rustling in the heart of the Philippine wild. Azurebreasted Pitha, Pitha styrii. Deep in the dripping jungles of the Philippines flits a bird so vivid it appears hand-painted by rainforest dreams. Known as the Azurebreasted Pitha, its scientific name, Pitha styrii, honors explorer Joseph Beale Steer, who first marveled at this living jewel. Among villagers, it's whispered about like a shy forest spirit, bright as a gemstone, elusive as a ghost. This breathtaking Pitha lives only in the Philippines, scattered across Mindanao, Bohol, Leyte, and Samar. It haunts damp lowland and foothill forests, where moss carpets the ground and vines twist into emerald labyrinths. Here, beneath a canopy that splinters sunlight into glowing shards, the Pitha slips silently between roots and ferns, cloaked by dappled shadow. Barely 7 inches long, it carries colors that seem almost unreal. A brilliant turquoise washes across its chest, separated by a bold black band, while russet flanks and a soft green back complete its tiny canvas. Every feather seems lit from within, like a lantern moving gently through the undergrowth. Unlike many flamboyant birds, the Azurebreasted Pitha is secretive by nature. Often it's heard before seen, its clear, flute-like whistles drifting through the trees, teasing the patient watcher. It hops delicately over fallen logs, probing moist earth for insects, worms, and tiny snails with quick, purposeful jabs of its sturdy bill. Imagine this dazzling Pitha pausing on a mossy perch, sapphire chest aglow against the dark, before vanishing with a soft flutter, leaving behind only wonder stitched into the fabric of the Philippine wild. Philippine Serpent Eagle, Spilornis holospilus. Soaring above the sunlit forests of the Philippines glides a raptor with eyes that burn like molten amber, an agile sentinel called the Philippine Serpent Eagle. Its scientific name, Spilornis holospilus, speaks to a spotted elegance, while local stories mark it as a watchful spirit of the canopy, forever circling in silent judgment. Endemic to this archipelago, the Philippine Serpent Eagle thrives across Luzon, Mindanao, Samar, Leyte, and numerous smaller islands. Favoring lowland and hill forests, it drifts effortlessly over river valleys and wooded ridges, riding warm currents that spiral skyward. Here, amid towering trunks and drifting mists, it claims a kingdom invisible to the grounded eye. Measuring roughly 22 inches from beak to tail, it cuts a striking silhouette against the vault of sky. Its plumage is a canvas of chocolate brown, flecked generously with white spots that ripple down its wings and back. A short, imposing crest crowns its head, lifting whenever it scans below with fierce, penetrating eyes, hinting at the calculated mind of a seasoned hunter. What distinguishes this eagle is its uncanny specialization. With talons honed like ivory knives, it plucks snakes from branches and forest floors, often swooping in with breathtaking precision. Reptiles make up the core of its diet, though it won't ignore frogs, lizards, or the occasional unwary rodent. During breeding, the serpent eagle chooses lofty forks in giant trees to craft its modest nest, often little more than a sturdy platform lined with fresh leaves. Both parents share duties, vigilantly raising a single chick under a leafy shield high above the forest floor. Picture this keen-eyed predator perched on a sun-bleached limb, crest lifted, gaze locked on the rustle of scales below. A silent sovereign whose reign is written in shadow and flight across the Philippine wild. Rufous hornbill, Buceros hydrocorax. Deep within the sun-dappled forests of the Philippines echoes a raucous, hollow laugh, a sound that betrays the presence of a forest jester clad in burnished copper. Known as the rufous hornbill or Buceros hydrocorax, this bird's name reflects its rich chestnut plumage and the impressive bill it proudly wears. Local communities affectionately call it kalao, a name that rustles through folklore like dry leaves. Endemic to the Philippine archipelago, the rufous hornbill inhabits lowland and foothill forests across Luzon, Samar, Leyte, and Mindanao. It favors dense canopies and towering trunks, where shafts of golden light spill through layers of green, illuminating these charismatic birds as they clamber from branch to branch in search of fruit. Measuring up to 28 inches long, with a hefty build that often weighs nearly 6 pounds, the rufous hornbill is a spectacle of the treetops. Its massive red-orange bill curves gracefully, topped by a hollow casque that resonates when it calls, turning each bark into a drumbeat rolling through the jungle. Rich russet feathers cloak its body, offset by darker wings and a vibrant ivory tail. What makes this hornbill extraordinary is its devotion during nesting. The female seals herself inside a tree cavity with a wall of mud and fruit pulp, leaving only a narrow slit. From outside, the male diligently feeds her and their hidden chicks, passing morsels through the gap until the family is ready to emerge. This loyal provider scours the canopy for figs, berries, and the occasional insect, his powerful bill plucking treats from slender branches. Every trip back is a quiet promise kept. Picture the kalao perched high on a gnarled limb, casque gleaming in a sunburst, eyes bright with purpose, a regal clown who reigns not by stealth, but by the joyous thunder of his woodland laughter. Whiskered Pitha, Pa Coochi. Within the shadowed rainforests of Luzon lives a bird so vivid it seems crafted by the forest itself to surprise any who wander too close. Known as the Whiskered Pitha, its scientific name, Pa Coochi, honors German zoologist Koch, yet locals might simply call it a ghost of color, brilliant, elusive, and gone in a breath. Endemic to the Philippines, this rare jewel inhabits the mossy understory of Luzon's highland forests, choosing cool, damp slopes tangled with roots and ferny drapes. In this hushed green realm, it moves like a fleeting ember, appearing for heartbeats before melting back into shadow. About 7 inches long, the Whiskered Pitha is a masterpiece of living art. A vivid crimson belly blazes beneath a rich blue back, while its throat is laced with bright white streaks, delicate whisker-like marks that give the bird its name. A subtle emerald wash touches its nape, adding yet another flourish to this astonishing palette. Sharp, dark eyes miss nothing, scanning leaf litter for the slightest sign of hidden morsels. What truly sets this pitha apart is its nearly theatrical manner of foraging. It hops deliberately across the forest floor, tilting its head side to side as if pondering some private mystery, then strikes with quick precision to pluck worms, insects, or tiny snails from damp soil. When breeding season arrives, it builds a snug, dome-shaped nest cleverly concealed among roots or low shrubs, sheltering a clutch of precious eggs. Both parents share the patient work of feeding their chicks, ever watchful for danger. Imagine glimpsing this vivid sprite among dew-spangled ferns, crimson breast flashing like a hidden flame, before it vanishes with a soft rustle, leaving behind a hush that feels almost sacred in the Philippine wild. Spotted Kingfisher, Actinoides lindsay. Somewhere along cool forest streams of Luzon, a splash of intricate color perches quietly, waiting to astonish the next soul who happens upon its hidden realm. This is the spotted kingfisher, Actinoides lindsay, named to honor British naturalist Lindsay. In whispered local lore, it's seen almost as a tiny river spirit, mysterious and richly adorned. This exquisite bird is found only in the Philippines, confined to the montane and moss-laden forests of Luzon, where it keeps to shaded ravines and shadowy creek beds. Here, beneath towering canopies and amid dripping leaves, it slips silently through shafts of filtered light, often little more than a sudden glint before blending back into the gloom. Measuring about 10 inches from beak to tail, the spotted kingfisher is a marvel of delicate detail. Its head and underparts glow with creamy white, generously freckled with chocolate spots that look hand-painted. A collar of soft blue encircles its neck, while richer azure highlights ripple across wings and tail. Its long, sturdy bill, perfect for snatching prey, adds to its alert, slightly regal bearing. Unlike many kingfishers known for dramatic plunges, this bird prefers to hunt by stillness. It waits in absolute patience on a shaded perch, keen eyes trained on the forest floor or shallow pools, before dropping swiftly to seize insects, small frogs, or creeping lizards. When nesting, it tunnels into earthen banks or rotting stumps, carving out a narrow chamber to shelter its clutch. Both parents take turns delivering wriggling meals, tirelessly tending their hidden brood. Picture this forest jewel poised above a mossy stream, speckled plumage catching stray beams of sun, then vanishing in a quiet flicker, like a secret traded only between the Philippine wild and those lucky enough to witness its quiet grace. Indigo-banded kingfisher, Cix cynopectus. Along sparkling streams that wind through Philippine forests sits a tiny masterpiece of color and poise, the indigo-banded kingfisher. Its formal name, Cix cynopectus, hints at the radiant blues that adorn its breast, but local eyes simply marvel at this minute wonder flitting between stones and hanging roots. Endemic to the archipelago, this splendid kingfisher inhabits clear, shaded waterways on Luzon, Mindoro, and parts of the Visayas. It favors places where sunbeams dance across ripples and moss clings to damp rocks, creating a mosaic of light and shadow that perfectly suits its secretive ways. Barely 5 inches long, the indigo-banded kingfisher is one of the smallest in its tribe, yet it boasts a regal palate. 2 brilliant sapphire bands cross a snowy white chest, set off by vivid orange flanks and an electric blue crown that seems to capture fragments of sky. Its dagger-like bill gleams jet black, built for lightning strikes on unsuspecting prey. What makes this kingfisher unforgettable is its patient hunting. Perched silently on a slender branch or rock, it studies the stream below with intense focus. Then, in a flash of blue and rust, it plunges headfirst, emerging with a wriggling fish or shrimp clamped firmly in its sharp beak. During nesting season, pairs carve narrow tunnels into soft riverbanks, hollowing out cozy chambers where they lay pearly eggs. Both mother and father return again and again, delivering fresh catches to hungry chicks hidden safely within. Picture this jewel of the water poised above a glistening pool, sapphire bands aglow, before it vanishes in a swift dive, leaving behind only widening rings on the surface and a brief, breathless sense of wonder in the Philippine wild. Northern silvery kingfisher, Ceix argentatus. Beside cool forest streams of the Philippines, a delicate spark of silver and azure waits in hushed stillness. This is the northern silvery kingfisher, Ceix argentatus, its name capturing both the gleam of precious metal and the liquid blues that ripple across its tiny frame. Among riverside villages, it's spoken of almost like a water spirit, bright, watchful, and quick to vanish. Endemic to the Visayan Islands, particularly on Bohol, Leyte, and Samar, this exquisite kingfisher favors shaded brooks, where roots twist into the water and sunbeams fracture on gentle currents. Such places become enchanted galleries for a bird that seems painted by hand, each feather a delicate stroke of brilliance. Just under 5 inches long, it is small yet impossibly ornate. A band of shimmering silvery blue crosses its throat, mirrored by gleaming cobalt along the crown and wings, all set against deep rust underparts. Its sharp bill stands out like polished obsidian, primed for the sudden strike. Unlike many of its kin that dive from great heights, this kingfisher prefers low, patient watches. Perched on a mossy twig, it leans forward, eyes fixed on darting minnows below. Then, with a sudden burst of color, it plunges headfirst, returning to its perch with a tiny fish held triumphantly in its slender beak. Breeding pairs dig narrow tunnels into soft earth banks, creating snug chambers hidden from predators. Both parents tirelessly deliver fresh catches, nurturing chicks cloistered within the dark safety of their burrow. Imagine pausing by a quiet stream and glimpsing this radiant bird, silver throat catching the sun, before it melts into leaves with only ripples to tell it was ever there. A fleeting marvel woven seamlessly into the Philippine tapestry. Palawan fairy bluebird, Irina puella. In the sunlit crowns of Palawan's forests, a bird flits like a living sapphire, scattering fragments of sky wherever it goes. This is the Palawan fairy bluebird, Irina puella, a name that entwines mythology with nature, Irene drawn from the Greek goddess of peace, as if hinting at the calm it leaves in its wake. Found amid the towering trees of Palawan's lowland and hill forests, this enchanting creature prefers lush canopies where fruits abound and shafts of gold filter through heavy leaves. Moving lightly through these emerald corridors, it becomes a fleeting streak of brilliance among moss-clad boughs. Measuring roughly 10 inches long, the male is a marvel of iridescent blues that shift with every tilt of light, cloaking it in liquid gemstones. His glossy black mask and back add striking contrast, while the female wears more subdued hues of dusky blue and slate, her beauty woven in softer threads. Both carry a bright ruby eye that seems to burn with quiet intelligence. Unlike noisy choristers, the Palawan fairy bluebird fills the forest with gentle, flute-like calls that rise and fade like drifting mist. Its diet is mostly fruit, particularly figs, though it plucks the occasional insect, hopping delicately from branch to branch with a nimbleness that belies its vivid presence. Breeding pairs choose high, hidden spots to nest, crafting modest cups where they raise their young away from prying eyes. Both parents share the tender work of feeding, returning time and again with tiny offerings. Imagine lifting your gaze to see this fairy-like bird perched among dappled leaves, cobalt plumage aglow against the forest's green depths, before it slips away on silent wings, leaving behind a hush that feels somehow touched by magic. Greater flameback, Chrysocolaptes lucidus. Bouncing like a flame come alive, the greater flameback, Chrysocolaptes lucidus, adds a streak of fire to the forests of the Philippines. Its name, flameback, captures the essence of its vivid golden-red mantle, glowing as if lit from within. This dazzling woodpecker, a symbol of vitality and forest rhythm, is found throughout the archipelago's lowland and secondary woodlands. From Luzon to Mindanao, it claims towering tree trunks as its stage. With a wingspan of about 17 inches and a body length nearing 12 inches, It's a robust bird built for precision. Males flash a bold crimson crown, while females wear a subtler dark crest, but both share the brilliant cape that earned them their name. There's no mistaking their presence. With a staccato burst of drumming, they chisel into bark with hammer-like resolve, searching for beetle larvae hidden beneath. Their curved, chisel-shaped beaks and zygodactyl feet grant them mastery over vertical surfaces. They rarely glide between trees. Instead, they catapult themselves from trunk to trunk, as if tethered to the timber. When it comes to nesting, these flamebacks carve their own future, literally. Mated pairs hollow out tree cavities with unwavering teamwork, choosing heights that protect their young from forest predators. Their calls, sharp, laughing bursts, echo through the canopy like forest laughter, giving voice to an ancient presence that predates chainsaws and roads. A burst of flame on bark, the greater flameback is not merely decoration, it's a keystone drummer in the symphony of the Philippine rainforest. Violet cuckoo, Chrysococcix xantharhinchus. Shimmering like a living gem, the violet cuckoo, Chrysococcix xantharhinchus, is a vision of iridescence rarely glimpsed in plain sight. Native to the tropical forests of the Philippines and neighboring Southeast Asian regions, this elusive beauty slips between sunlit leaves like a whispered secret. Its name nods to its signature hues, a glinting violet coat on the male, paired with a golden eye ring and a saffron-tipped bill that glows like dusk caught in flight. Found in both primary forests and disturbed woodland edges, it thrives where flowering trees abound. Measuring just around 6.7 inches, it's a small figure cloaked in opulence. Males dazzle with metallic purple from crown to tail, while females wear barring and green with understated grace. Despite their brilliance, these cuckoos remain surprisingly difficult to track, often perching quietly in dense foliage. But what truly sets them apart isn't just their beauty, it's their method of motherhood. The violet cuckoo is a brood parasite, laying its eggs in the nests of unsuspecting sunbirds and spider hunters. The hatchling, blind and fragile, instinctively dominates its foster siblings, a tale as haunting as it is remarkable. Their calls, sharp, high-pitched whistles, slice through the forest like echoes of curiosity. More than just a jewel of the canopy, the violet cuckoo is nature's paradox, gorgeous yet secretive, delicate yet cunning. In the grand theater of Philippine bird life, it flits through the wings of myth and mystery, a fleeting brilliance in the green shadows. Yellow-breasted fruit dove, Ptilonopus occipitalis. Among the lush green cathedrals of the Philippines moves a creature so vivid it seems to carry a piece of sunlight upon its breast. Known as the yellow-breasted fruit dove, Ptilonopus occipitalis, its name combines Greek words for feather and face, yet no title quite captures the quiet splendor it brings to forest canopies. Endemic to the Philippine archipelago, this splendid dove graces islands like Luzon, Samar, Leyte, and Mindanao, thriving in lowland and hill forests brimming with fruiting trees. It prefers dense foliage high above the ground, drifting from branch to branch, where figs hang in hidden abundance and broad leaves filter the sun into dancing emerald patterns. Measuring about 8 inches long, this fruit dove is a masterpiece of delicate contrasts. Its throat and chest blaze a brilliant yellow that seems to glow against softer hues of mossy green along its back and wings. A subtle wash of lavender crowns the head, while flashes of pale gray catch the light across its nape. Altogether, it resembles a tiny lantern adrift among leaves. Unlike louder forest dwellers, this bird communicates with low, mellow coos that ripple gently through the upper story. Feeding almost entirely on fruits, it deftly plucks berries and figs with a quick flick of its bill, swallowing them whole before moving on in graceful silence. When nesting, it builds a simple platform of twigs hidden deep within leafy cover, where a single egg is tenderly incubated. Both parents share in feeding and guarding, each return flight a quiet testament to devotion. Balanced on a slender bough with breast aglow in bright gold, the yellow-breasted fruit dove becomes a living drop of sunrise, a fleeting marvel threaded delicately through the Philippine treetops. Flame-breasted fruit dove, Ptillinopus marchae. High among the mossy ridges of Luzon's montane forests lives a bird that appears touched by embers, a gem known as the flame-breasted fruit dove. Its scientific name, Ptillinopus marchae, pays homage to French explorer Marche, yet it is the bird's own fiery adornment that truly immortalizes it in memory. Endemic to the Philippines, this striking dove inhabits cool, mist-wrapped highlands cloaked in towering oaks and pines. It moves with quiet assurance through branches festooned with orchids and trailing lichens, places where sunlight breaks in fleeting shards and the air tastes of damp earth. Roughly 10 inches long, the flame-breasted fruit dove is an exquisite study in contrast. A brilliant patch of scarlet flares across its chest like a tiny hearth, bordered by delicate yellow that softens into moss-green wings. Its crown wears a soft ash gray, while subtle touches of lilac and ivory complete the intricate pattern, making it look as though a painter lavished every brushstroke in careful wonder. More often heard than seen, its low, rhythmic coos drift through the treetops, echoing softly among moss-laden boughs. Feeding primarily on figs and small fruits, it picks its way methodically along slender branches, swallowing each morsel whole before pausing to survey its hushed domain. Breeding pairs craft modest twig platforms nestled in dense foliage, guarding their single precious egg with vigilant tenderness. Both parents take turns bringing regurgitated meals to their nestling, ensuring each tiny life has the best chance to flourish. Perched among dew-dappled leaves with a breast ablaze in vivid red, this fruit dove becomes a fleeting spark of fire against a tapestry of greens, a delicate blaze that momentarily warms the cool heart of Luzon's lofty forests. Cream-bellied fruit dove, Ptillinopus murilli. Amid the emerald crowns of Luzon's forests dwells a bird so delicately adorned it seems spun from forest light. Known as the cream-bellied fruit dove, Ptillinopus murilli, its name honors American zoologist G. E. Merrill, yet the bird itself has long held a quiet nobility far beyond any human tribute. This exquisite species is found only in the Philippines, frequenting montane and mid-elevation forests across Luzon's rugged ranges. There, moss-draped branches intertwine with flowering epiphytes, creating airy green halls through which this gentle dove moves with unhurried grace. Measuring close to 10 inches long, the cream-bellied fruit dove is a masterpiece of subtle beauty. Its underparts glow a soft ivory cream, perfectly setting off olive wings washed with hints of bronze. A wash of rose tinges its crown, while small patches of gold and muted lilac trace delicate lines across its nape and back, each hue like a whispered promise of bloom among the leaves. Feeding mostly on figs and other forest fruits, it steps lightly along slender limbs, plucking ripe offerings and swallowing them whole before pausing in watchful calm. Its voice carries as a mellow, throaty coo that drifts lazily through the canopy, a soothing thread woven into the fabric of the forest. When nesting, pairs craft simple platforms hidden deep in leafy retreats, laying a single white egg guarded with steadfast devotion. Both parents share the tender work of feeding their chick, returning time and again with crops full of half-digested fruit. Perched quietly with cream breast catching fractured sunlight, this fruit dove becomes a living ornament, an ephemeral brushstroke of warmth and calm against Luzon's shadowed greens, a gentle marvel shaped by the Philippine forest's patient hand. Philippine green pigeon, Treron philippensis. Among the vibrant canopies of Philippine forests flutters a bird so seamlessly dressed in green it nearly vanishes against the leaves. Called the Philippine green pigeon, Treron philippensis, its very name binds it to these islands, where it has long been a quiet ambassador of tangled woodlands and sun-dappled groves. Found widely across the archipelago, from Luzon and Mindanao to countless smaller isles, this elegant pigeon prefers forest edges, fruit-laden clearings, and even overgrown gardens where figs and berries abound. It moves between towering branches and slender twigs with practiced ease, a subtle traveler cloaked in living camouflage. About 10 inches long, the Philippine green pigeon carries a stunning palette crafted perfectly for its leafy world. Its back and wings shimmer in shades of emerald and jade, while a gentle blush of rose or lilac often tints its crown and shoulders. The underparts glow a lighter green, giving the entire bird an impression of fresh, dew-soaked foliage. Bright coral red feet and a bill tipped in pale ivory add small, vivid flourishes to this verdant masterpiece. Rather than noisy declarations, it offers a low, rhythmic cooing that rolls through the treetops like a soft chant. Feeding primarily on figs and assorted forest fruits, it picks each morsel with care, swallowing them whole before pausing to gaze across its hidden realm. Nesting pairs build modest platforms high among dense leaves, laying a single pale egg they guard with serene vigilance. Both partners share the tender routine of feeding their chick, crops brimming with partially digested fruit. Perched quietly on a sunlit limb, throat pulsing with gentle notes, the Philippine green pigeon becomes part of the forest's very breath, a living emerald whisper that completes the lush mosaic of these tropical heights. Amethyst brown dove, Phapeteron amethystinus. In the cool shade of Philippine forests moves a bird that carries subtle splendor wherever it goes, the Philippine amethyst brown dove. Its scientific name, Phapeteron amethystinus, alludes to the gem-like sheen hidden within its modest attire, a quiet brilliance that reveals itself only when caught by a teasing beam of sunlight. Endemic to these islands, this graceful dove inhabits dense lowland and montane forests across Luzon, Mindanao, Samar, and other islands. It favors shadowy interiors where moss-draped branches arch overhead and the air hangs heavy with the scent of damp earth and blossoms. Here it weaves silently through layers of green, a gentle spirit threading the forest's many chambers. Reaching nearly 12 inches in length, the Philippine amethyst brown dove is draped in soft, earthy browns, perfectly suited for life among leaf litter and tangled understory. Yet when light strikes its neck or upper back just so, hidden iridescence blooms, flashes of deep violet, like tiny pools of twilight trapped in feathered folds. Its eyes, dark and steady, seem to hold the calm patience of old wood. Feeding mostly on fallen fruits and small berries, it moves with measured care across the forest floor, pausing often to study the ground before pecking delicately. From time to time, it lifts off to join the lower branches, wings whirring in short, silent bursts. When nesting, pairs build loosely woven platforms of twigs, tucked securely among foliage, raising one or two young under a leafy veil. Both parents share duties, arriving with crops full of soft pulp to nourish their fragile brood, resting quietly on a mossy perch, plumage aglow with hints of amethyst. This brown dove becomes a fleeting jewel, an understated marvel perfectly at home within the tranquil depths of the Philippine forest. Ashy thrush, Geokichla cinerea. In the quiet understory of Luzon's rain-soaked forests moves a bird so subtle in beauty it rewards only the patient observer, the ashy thrush. Its scientific name, Geokichla cinerea, blends Greek roots for earth thrush and ash-colored, perfectly capturing both its favored haunt and the gentle hues of its plumage. Endemic to the Philippines, this elusive species inhabits montane and lowland forests on Luzon, where moss-clad logs lie strewn across the leaf litter and delicate ferns reach skyward through drifting fog. Preferring shadowed niches, it weaves through tangled underbrush with a calm, deliberate grace. Just under 9 inches long, the ashy thrush is clad in soft gray on its crown and back, transitioning to warmer rufous tones along its wings and flanks. Fine white streaks feather its throat, while the breast carries pale scaling that looks almost painted by a careful hand. Dark eyes brim with an alert intelligence, always scanning for movement among fallen leaves. Unlike bold songsters that proclaim from treetops, this thrush shares its presence through delicate, flute-like notes that rise and fall like small sighs drifting beneath the canopy. Feeding quietly on insects and small invertebrates, it hops deftly over damp earth, probing with its slender bill beneath decaying leaves for hidden morsels. When nesting, it crafts a neat cup from roots, twigs, and moss, nestled securely in low vegetation or natural hollows. Both parents tirelessly tend their fragile brood, returning with beaks full of tiny offerings gathered from the forest floor. Standing on a mossy perch, feathers brushed in muted earth tones, the ashy thrush embodies the subtle magic of Luzon's green heart, a delicate life perfectly attuned to the hushed rhythm of its shadowed world. Philippine Trogon, Harpactes ardens. Along shaded corridors of Philippine forests moves a bird so vivid it seems plucked from the palette of dawn itself, the Philippine Trogon. Bearing the name Harpactes ardens, with ardens evoking fire, it hints at the bright flames that dance across this species' plumage. Found throughout the archipelago on islands such as Luzon, Samar, Leyte, and Mindanao, this trogon favors dense lowland and foothill forests, where towering trunks and heavy lianas weave a tapestry of shadow and filtered sun. It keeps largely to the mid-story, pausing quietly on slender branches as though weighing each delicate breath of air. Measuring roughly 10 inches long, the male wears an astonishing cloak of colors, a fiery red belly that blazes beneath a velvet chocolate-brown back, with subtle touches of slate along the wings. A striking blue ring encircles each dark, watchful eye, while the bill and feet mirror this sapphire glow, adding small bursts of brilliance. Females wear more subdued tones, yet still carry hints of gentle coral and earthy browns. Unlike boisterous forest dwellers, the Philippine Trogon calls out in soft, haunting whistles that echo lightly through green halls. Feeding on insects, small caterpillars, and forest fruits, it makes short, darting flights from perch to perch, plucking food with elegant precision before settling again into stillness. For nesting, it seeks out decaying trees, hollowing shallow cavities to cradle its eggs. Both parents share the quiet labor of feeding their young, returning over and over with beaks filled by the bounty of the forest. Resting calmly amid tangled vines, bright breast catching stray shafts of sun, the Philippine Trogon becomes a fleeting flame, an exquisite spirit that lends a whisper of fire to the emerald hush of the Philippine canopy. Philippine Duck, Anas luzonica. Across shimmering lakes and quiet marshes of the Philippines glides a bird whose elegance often slips beneath notice, the Philippine duck. Named Anas luzonica, it proudly ties its identity to Luzon, though its graceful form enriches wetlands across the entire archipelago. Favoring freshwater ponds, rice paddies, and winding river bends, this species weaves through sunlit waters bordered by reeds and overhanging trees. It moves with unhurried assurance, tipping its head to forage beneath the surface, leaving only gentle ripples that dance outward across the mirrored sky. Stretching to about 20 inches in length, the Philippine duck is a portrait of understated beauty. A warm cinnamon head contrasts strikingly with a bold black crown and a line that extends through keen dark eyes. The body is cloaked in a subtle mix of gray and brown, while wings reveal a vivid patch of metallic green that flares like a hidden jewel when caught by sunlight. A slender blue-gray bill completes the refined ensemble. Their diet is as diverse as the waters they inhabit, ranging from tender shoots and grains to small aquatic creatures plucked deftly from shallows. Often seen dipping forward in graceful arcs, they probe mud and water plants for hidden morsels, always alert to the slight stir of life beneath. When breeding, pairs nest close to water's edge, crafting downy beds concealed within grasses. Both parents stand vigil over their clutch, later guiding soft, down-covered ducklings across reflective pools in tender procession. Standing still among golden reeds, plumage tinged by afternoon light, the Philippine duck embodies the tranquil soul of these islands, a quiet testament to how subtle splendor thrives along gentle currents and silent shores. White-throated kingfisher, Halcyon smyrnensis. Along riverbanks, rice paddies, and coastal groves throughout the Philippines, a flash of electric blue and chestnut cuts across the air, a living jewel known as the white-throated kingfisher. Bearing the name Halcyon smyrnensis, it draws from ancient myth halcyon days, invoking a sense of calm seas and bright skies, though this bird's brilliance kindles far more than peace. Widespread across the archipelago, it thrives near virtually any water source, but ventures boldly into open fields and village edges, perching confidently on wires and low branches. Here it surveys the ground and shallows below, its sharp eyes missing nothing that stirs among reeds or rustling grass. Measuring about 11 inches long, this kingfisher dazzles with a palette that seems to capture fragments of sky and earth. A radiant turquoise back and wings flare against a rich chestnut head and belly, anchored by a stark white throat and breast that glows like a polished gem. Its robust coral red bill stands out as both tool and warning, a vivid spear honed for the hunt. Unlike some relatives that dive strictly for fish, the white-throated kingfisher's tastes are far-ranging. It pounces on frogs, insects, lizards, and even small rodents, dropping from its perch in sudden, decisive plunges. A quick shake of its head, and the quarry is swallowed in a single practiced motion. Nesting pairs hollow out tunnels in earth banks or rotting trees, crafting hidden chambers where they raise clutches of pale eggs. Both parents tirelessly deliver morsels to satisfy the insistent hunger of growing chicks. Perched with feathers agleam, throat bright against tangled greens, this kingfisher embodies the vibrant pulse of Philippine waterways, a bold, watchful presence that brings the landscape to life with every vivid stroke of its wings. Philippine cuckoo dove, Macropegia tenuirostris. Along shadowed trails and sun-flecked glades of Philippine forests wanders a bird that carries an old-world elegance, the Philippine cuckoo dove. Its scientific name, Macropegia tenuirostris, speaks to a slender bill and long tail, details that give this dove its graceful flowing silhouette as it moves quietly through dense greenery. This species ranges across many islands including Luzon, Samar, Leyte, and Mindanao, thriving in lowland and mid-elevation forests where fig trees stand watch and bamboo thickets weave intricate walls of green. It is equally at home near forest edges, where open light spills onto leafy paths, allowing brief glimpses of its understated charm. Measuring about 16 inches long, the Philippine cuckoo dove is robed in earthy browns with warm rufous tones that catch the sun in subtle copper glints. Delicate scalloping decorates its neck and breast, while its long graduated tail feathers trail behind like soft brush strokes. Dark, contemplative eyes give it a look of quiet thoughtfulness as it surveys the forest floor. Its voice adds to its mystique, a series of deep, mellow whoop calls that echo through the understory, rising and falling in gentle cadence. Feeding mainly on fallen fruits and small berries, it steps deliberately among scattered leaves, pausing to pluck ripened treasures with a deft, careful snap of its slender bill. Nesting takes place well hidden within thick shrubs or low branches, where a sparse platform of twigs cradles a single white egg. Both parents share the duty of feeding their downy chick, returning with crops full of partially digested fruit. standing on a mossy log with tail feathers fanned just slightly. The Philippine cuckoo dove becomes part of the forest's timeless rhythm, an elegant thread woven through the living tapestry of these tropical isles. Luzon Scops Owl, Otus longicornis. Under the silvered canopy of Luzon's montane forests dwells a bird wrapped in both shadow and subtle wonder, the Luzon Scops Owl. Bearing the scientific name Otus longicornis, which hints at its distinctive elongated ear tufts, this tiny sentinel stands as one of the Philippines' most endearing nocturnal gems. Endemic to the island of Luzon, it haunts mossy highland forests cloaked in cool mist, where ancient trees clutch the slopes and lichens crawl across twisted bark. Preferring to keep close to dense tangles and secluded glades, it waits for dusk to drape its velvet curtain before truly coming alive. Measuring just over 7 inches, this Scops owl is a master of intricate detail. Warm rufous and earthy browns streak across its plumage, interwoven with delicate barring that mimics dried leaves and dappled bark. Strikingly long ear tufts rise like tiny sentinels, giving its round, expressive face an almost whimsical crown. Large, dark eyes brim with soft luminescence, catching even the faintest glimmer of moonlight. At night, it fills the cool air with soft, repeated hoots that ripple gently through the undergrowth, sounding more like distant sighs than declarations. For nesting, it chooses natural hollows or old woodpecker holes, lining them with simple layers of plant matter. Both parents tirelessly deliver morsels, their devotion hidden by the forest's hush. Balanced on a lichen-laced branch, ear tufts lifted in faint curiosity, the Luzon Scops owl embodies the quiet, secret heart of these Philippine highlands. A delicate presence felt more in whisper than in sight. Palawan Hornbill, Anthracoceros albogularis. Somewhere in the sun-drenched forests of Palawan, a bird moves with the stately confidence of an ancient courtier, the Palawan Hornbill. Known scientifically as Anthracoceros albogularis, its name translates to white-throated black hornbill, a modest description for such a distinctive and charismatic creature. Found only on Palawan and its neighboring islets, this hornbill thrives in lowland forests, where towering dipterocarps knit a dense canopy overhead. Here, beams of light pierce through layers of green, spotlighting the hornbill's striking form as it hops between fruiting branches or sails across sunlit gaps with powerful, steady wing beats. Measuring up to 28 inches long, the Palawan hornbill cuts a dramatic figure with glossy black plumage, contrasted by a gleaming white throat and belly. Its oversized bill, topped by a prominent casque, appears almost too heavy for its head, yet gives it a regal silhouette, like a living sculpture. Keen eyes framed by this grand architecture scan the treetops with measured calm. Feeding mostly on figs and other soft fruits, it clambers nimbly through branches, plucking ripe offerings with a deft snap of its bill. Occasionally, it supplements its diet with insects or small reptiles, adding a lively precision to its typically leisurely foraging. When breeding, the female seals herself inside a tree cavity with mud and fruit pulp, leaving only a narrow slit through which the male passes food. This devoted partner makes countless trips, offering figs and berries to sustain both mate and hidden chicks. Perched proudly against a tapestry of green, casque catching the afternoon light, the Palawan hornbill stands as a living emblem of its island's ancient forests, a testament to nature's grandeur woven seamlessly into the Philippine canopy. Philippine Cockatu, Cacatua hematuropegia. In sun-washed forests and mangrove edges across Palawan and nearby Philippine islets, a flash of white cuts gracefully through the canopy, the Philippine Cockatu. Known by its scientific name, Cacatua hematuropegia, meaning red-rumped cockatoo. It hints at the surprising blush of color hidden beneath this bird's snowy plumage. Endemic to the Philippines, this striking parrot inhabits coastal woodlands, riverine forests, and even coconut groves, weaving its way through emerald corridors where light scatters like shattered glass across broad leaves. Often, it's first revealed by a burst of bright calls, sharp, echoing notes that carry far across quiet lagoons. Reaching around 12 inches long, the Philippine cockatoo is a vision of pure elegance. Its plumage gleams in immaculate white, offset by a delicate salmon wash across its face and under its tail, a playful splash of color that reveals itself most vividly when the bird fans its feathers in display or flight. A strong, curved ivory bill and expressive dark eyes complete a portrait of charismatic intelligence. Feeding primarily on seeds, fruits, and tender shoots, it clambers with surprising dexterity among slender branches, using its bill like a clever extra hand. Its social nature often draws it into lively flocks, where bouts of mutual preening and playful chases add bright motion to the treetops. When nesting, pairs seek out old tree cavities, lining them with chewed wood to cradle their clutch. Both parents guard these hidden nurseries with fierce devotion, tirelessly feeding chicks until they're strong enough to brave the canopy's heights. Balanced atop a sunlit branch, crest slightly raised in gentle curiosity, the Philippine cockatoo becomes a fleeting vision of tropical grace. Across the Philippines' misty peaks, lush forests, and sunlit shores, each bird we've met tells a story of resilience, beauty, and the wild heart of these islands. From the regal Philippine Eagle soaring above green canopies to tiny Whiskered Pittas flashing bright among leaves, and Luzon Bleeding-hearts glowing with hidden scarlet. These are more than fleeting colors or songs. They are guardians of forests and living symbols of untamed nature. Thank you for exploring these avian wonders with BBTV Official. If their stories moved you, please like, subscribe, and share in the comments. Which bird captured your heart today? Until next time, may the wild songs of the Philippines stay with you, wherever you wander.